Introduction: Returning to Rhythm. Before we begin, let's set something down. The idea that you are low on energy because something is wrong with you. That belief is heavy, and it isn't true. If you are tired, scattered, restless, or calm one moment and depleted the next, this is not failure. It is not weakness. It is not a lack of discipline or motivation. It is often a sign that rhythm has been lost. Rhythm is the body's quiet timing: when to wake, when to digest, when to focus, when to rest, when to recover. The body doesn't ask for intensity, it asks for sequence. When rhythm is present, energy appears without effort. When rhythm is disturbed, even rest can feel exhausting. This audiobook is not here to push energy back into your system. It will not ask you to try harder, optimize your routine, or force calm. Instead, it gently restores the conditions that allow energy and calm to return on their own. Ayurveda has always understood this. It does not chase symptoms, it observes timing. When the body eats without hunger, sleeps without rest, works without recovery, or rests without safety, energy becomes unstable. Not because the body is broken, but because it is responding intelligently to disorder. In the days ahead, we won't be fixing anything, we'll be reintroducing rhythm. Each day offers a lens, a way of noticing where pace has replaced timing, where pressure has replaced sequence, where effort has replaced trust. There is nothing you need to do right now, nothing to remember, nothing to prepare. You can listen once, you can listen many times, you can drift in and out. The body learns through repetition and safety, not instruction. As you listen, notice what happens when nothing is demanded of you. Notice how your breath responds when urgency is removed. Notice how attention softens when there is no goal. This is how rhythm begins to return, not through force, not through discipline, but through allowing the body to remember its own timing. We'll start gently, one rhythm at a time. You don't need to be ready. You're already here. Day 1. Establishing safety before energy. Before rhythm can return, the body needs one thing first: safety. Not emotional safety in the abstract, not reassurance spoken to the mind, physical safety, timing safety, the sense that nothing is about to be demanded. Many people try to restore energy by stimulating the body. More effort, more structure, more intention. But energy does not rise when the body feels watched. It rises when the body feels unthreatened. If you are depleted, restless, wired, or heavy today, this does not mean your system is weak. It means your body has been operating without enough signals of safety. When safety is missing, the body conserves. It holds back energy. It keeps systems alert. It stays ready. This is not a mistake. This is intelligence. Ayurveda begins here, before digestion improves, before sleep deepens, before focus steadies. The body must sense that it is allowed to slow. Today is not about doing less. It's about removing internal pressure. Pressure can be subtle. The pressure to feel better. The pressure to get something out of this. The pressure to use the practice correctly. Even gentle goals can feel like threat to a tired system. So today, we remove the goal. Instead, we introduce one condition: uninterrupted pacing. Notice how your body responds when nothing is expected of it, not when it is told to relax, but when it realizes there is no urgency. You may notice resistance at first, restlessness, a desire to skip ahead, a thought that says, "This is too slow." That reaction is information. It tells you how long the body has been moving without pause. There is nothing to correct, just notice. Ayurveda observes rhythm by watching how the body behaves when pressure lifts. If the breath shortens, the system is still guarding. If the breath deepens, safety is returning. If thoughts speed up, the body is still scanning. If the mind quiets without effort, the system is settling. None of these responses are better than the other. They are signals. Today's rhythm is simple. Allow longer pauses between moments, not as a task, as permission. When you finish listening, do not rush into the next activity. Let the transition be slow. Let the body feel the space between. Energy does not come from stimulation. It comes from trust. And trust begins when the body learns that nothing bad happens when it slows down. You don't need to protect your pace today. You don't need to manage your output. Just let time widen slightly. That is enough. This is day 1. Not building energy, making room for it. You can rest here. Day 2. Restoring pace without slowing everything down. Today is about pace, not speed, not productivity, not doing less for the sake of doing less. Pace is the relationship between effort and recovery. Many people believe they are tired because they are doing too much. Often, the deeper issue is that effort has lost its counterbalance. Effort without recovery drains energy. Recovery without safety doesn't restore it. Ayurveda notices this pattern gently. When pace is off, the body doesn't always signal it with pain or collapse. It often signals it with restlessness, with the feeling of always being slightly behind, with difficulty stopping once started, with difficulty starting again once stopped. This is not a flaw in motivation, it is a rhythm issue. Today is not about slowing your life down. It's about allowing natural transitions to reappear. The body is designed to move between states, activity into rest, focus into release, engagement into quiet. When these transitions are skipped or compressed, the body stays partially activated even when nothing is happening. That partial activation costs energy. You may notice today that stopping feels uncomfortable, or that starting feels heavy, or that both happen at the same time. This is common when pace has been externally driven for a long time. Ayurveda does not correct this with discipline, it corrects it with permission. Permission for things to end before the next thing begins. You don't need to create pauses today. Just notice where they are already trying to appear. A breath between tasks. A moment of stillness after movement. A quiet second before responding. These moments are not inefficiencies, they are reset points. When they are respected, the body recalibrates pace automatically. You may also notice impatience today, a subtle urge to move on, to skip ahead, to fill space. This isn't something to suppress, it's information. It tells you how long the body has been living without true completion. Completion restores energy because it tells the system, you can stand down now. Without that signal, the body stays half engaged, always ready, never fully resting. Today's rhythm is simple. Allow endings, not dramatic endings, small ones. Finish a moment before replacing it. Let a pause exist before the next demand. You don't need to manage this carefully. Awareness is enough. As pace becomes more accurate, energy stops leaking, not because effort decreases, but because recovery becomes real. You may not feel a change immediately. That's fine. Rhythm often returns quietly before it becomes noticeable. Day 2 is not about achieving balance. It's about allowing the body to feel that it doesn't have to rush the handoff between moments. That alone restores more energy than pushing ever could. You can rest here. Day 3. Letting the body find its own tempo. By now, something subtle may be happening. Not a burst of energy, not a dramatic calm, but a small shift in how the body relates to time. Today is about tempo, not speed, not productivity. Tempo. Tempo is the body's internal timing, how quickly it wants to move, digest, think, respond, recover. When rhythm is lost, the body doesn't just feel tired, it feels rushed even when nothing is happening. Thoughts arrive too fast. Hunger appears at odd times. Sleep comes late or leaves early. Rest never quite finishes its job. This is not because the body is broken. It's because the body has been following an external tempo for too long. Schedules, screens, deadlines, expectations, even gentle ones. Over time, the body stops checking in with itself. It starts keeping pace with the world instead. Today, Ayurveda invites the body back into leadership, not by correcting it, by listening. Tempo returns when the body senses that its timing matters again. You may notice today that certain things feel slightly offbeat. You might feel hungry later than usual or earlier. You might feel the urge to pause in the middle of an activity or lose interest sooner than expected. These are not disruptions. They are the body testing its voice. Many people override these signals automatically. They eat because it's time. They push through because they should finish. They rest only when exhaustion forces it. Today, we don't override. We don't obey either. We simply notice. Notice when the body naturally wants to slow. Notice when it naturally wants to engage. No need to act perfectly on these cues. Just acknowledging them begins to restore rhythm. Tempo is restored through respect, not control. If your energy still feels uneven today, that is expected. When the body regains agency, it often experiments. A little more alert here, a little heavier there. This is recalibration, like a pendulum finding center. Ayurveda understands energy not as something you generate, but something that circulates when timing aligns. When digestion happens at the right pace, when rest is taken before depletion, when effort ends before strain. You may notice today that forcing feels louder. Things that once felt normal may feel slightly abrasive. That's not sensitivity increasing, that's awareness returning. The body is learning to distinguish between its rhythm and imposed rhythm. There is nothing to fix, nothing to rebalance yet. Today is about recognition. At some point today, allow one moment to unfold without adjusting it. Don't speed it up. Don't make it efficient. Don't optimize the pause. Let the moment take the time it takes, even if the mind comments, especially if the mind comments. Tempo returns when the body trusts that it will not be rushed back into shape. This is not laziness. This is intelligence restoring its timing. Day 3 is not about feeling better. It's about feeling accurate. That is how rhythm comes back. Quietly, gradually, without force. You can rest here. Day 4. Allowing energy to arrive without demand. Today is about energy, but not the kind that needs to be summoned, protected, or sustained. In Ayurveda, energy is not something the body produces on command. It is something that appears when rhythm is respected. If you've been tired for a long time, it's natural to watch closely for signs of improvement, to scan for alertness, to measure motivation, to ask, is this working yet? That kind of attention is understandable, and it can also interrupt the very thing it's looking for. Energy retreats when it is monitored too closely. Today, we loosen the grip, not because energy is fragile, but because it responds best when it is invited, not demanded. You may notice brief moments of clarity today, a short window of focus, a quiet lift in mood, a sense of ease that comes and goes. Let these moments pass without chasing them. Energy that is chased learns to hide. Energy that is allowed learns to stay longer. The body has its own pace for returning vitality. It does not rush itself. It does not announce progress. When rhythm begins to stabilize, energy often appears sideways, as patience, as steadiness, as less resistance to simple things. These are not small changes. They are signs that the system is no longer bracing. Many people mistake high stimulation for energy, caffeine, urgency, excitement, pressure. Ayurveda distinguishes between drive and vitality. Drive burns quickly. Vitality renews itself. Today is not about increasing output. It's about reducing the friction that drains energy away. Notice where effort sneaks in unnecessarily. Not effort in action, but effort in anticipation. The effort of preparing to push. The effort of staying alert. The effort of holding yourself together. If you catch this effort today, you don't need to stop it. Just noticing it is enough. When the body realizes it doesn't need to be on standby, energy reallocates itself naturally. This is why rest alone doesn't always restore vitality. Rest without safety still costs energy. Safety comes from knowing nothing is about to be required. If today feels quiet, that's not emptiness, that's space being reclaimed. If today feels flat, that's not failure, that's stimulation settling. Energy does not always feel like brightness when it returns. Sometimes it feels like neutral, like things are no longer pulling so hard. That neutrality is important. It's the ground energy stands on. You don't need to improve this day. You don't need to make use of it. Just allow energy to arrive in its own language. Not loud, not urgent, not dramatic. Steady, available, unforced. This is day 4. Not building energy, removing the reasons it had to leave. You can rest here. Day 5. Letting rhythm hold you. Today is about continuity, not consistency as discipline, not routines you must maintain. Continuity as the feeling that the body is no longer starting over each day. When rhythm begins to return, something subtle changes. The body stops asking, "What now?" It begins to recognize what comes next. This recognition is calming. Many people mistake rhythm for rigidity, fixed schedules, strict timing, perfect repetition. Ayurveda understands rhythm differently. Rhythm is not repetition, it is reliability. The body relaxes when it can trust the sequence of things. Rest follows effort, warmth follows exposure, nourishment follows hunger, pause follows intensity. When this sequence is present, the body does not need to stay alert. It does not need to guard energy. It does not need to anticipate disruption. Today, we allow rhythm to hold rather than be held. You may notice that transitions feel smoother. Moving from one activity to another may require less internal negotiation. Ending things may feel less abrupt. These are signs that the body is no longer bracing. If energy has felt uneven until now, this is where it often steadies. Not because more energy has arrived, but because less is leaking away. Leakage happens when the body is constantly preparing for interruption, when it doesn't know whether rest will be respected, when effort is extended past its natural endpoint. Rhythm repairs these leaks quietly. Today, notice how the body responds to predictability. Not rigid predictability, but the reassurance that things are allowed to finish. Finish resting, finish digesting, finish focusing. Completion restores energy. Incomplete experiences drain it. This doesn't mean you need to control your day. It means allowing moments to land before moving on. If you feel drawn to linger slightly longer in one state today, let that happen. If you feel ready to move on sooner, allow that too. Rhythm is responsive, not enforced. Ayurveda teaches that calm is not the absence of activity, it is the absence of interruption. When the body senses it will not be pulled away prematurely, it settles into its own timing. That timing carries energy forward. You may still feel tired today, or neutral, or quietly alert. All of these belong. What matters is the sense that the body is no longer being rushed from the inside. That inner rush costs more energy than any task. Today is not about preserving what you've gained. There's nothing to preserve. Rhythm sustains itself when it is trusted. If something feels supportive, notice it. If something feels disruptive, notice that too. No correction is required. The body is learning that it can rely on sequence again. That learning does not need supervision. As this day comes to a close, allow yourself to feel held by what comes next. Not planned, not optimized, just allowed. This is day 5. Not maintaining rhythm, letting rhythm maintain you. You can rest here. Conclusion. Pausing inside rhythm. As this first part comes to a close, there is nothing you need to gather or carry forward. No lessons to remember, no progress to measure, no rhythm to hold in place. What matters has already happened quietly. The body has been reminded that it does not need to rush itself to be well, that energy does not need to be chased, that calm does not arrive through control. Over these days, we did not build anything new. We simply removed some of the pressure that was interrupting what was already there. If rhythm feels clearer now, let that be enough. If rhythm still feels distant, let that be enough too. Restoration does not move on a schedule. This is the end of part 1, and it is also a pause. In part 2, we'll continue gently, exploring how rhythm carries into daily life without effort, how energy stabilizes when timing is trusted, and how calm becomes something the body returns to naturally. There is no need to continue immediately. There is no need to prepare. You can return when it feels right. For now, allow what has settled to stay settled. Allow the body to keep its own time. Nothing more is required. You can rest here. Love, Estrella. This audiobook is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. It does not replace care from a qualified healthcare professional. Please consult your healthcare provider before making health-related changes.